would have asked me then, are you guys ready to create a pop-up experience and find premium vintage? And like if you would have asked me like, are you guys ready for that then, I probably would have said no. But I don't think you're ever ready. Like you're just never, you're always going to say no, I'm not ready. But it's like you gotta just kind of put yourself there, and that's what gets you ready. Doing it, that process of it,
and trust that like if you get pushed back like past what you think the boundaries of yourself are, like that's where you start to depend on God even more. And at that point, like there's no way for you to be able to boast. Like it's literally like all in His glory right there. Like and it's so cool. And I think something that I read this 2 weeks ago. I've read this verse a number of times, so it hit me again like a couple weeks ago that I think is an encouragement for y'all, because you brought up, related to Josue's question, like all these memories that kind of come up and just like the smile and joy that comes with it. In Psalms, it says, the memory of the righteous is a blessing. And it's something that is so cool, because it's just like, if y'all, during this whole time, were, like trying to like sneakily make all this stuff happen and like pop off and like all this stuff, like you wouldn't be able to have like the fullness of joy that comes with like God's presence being in every single one of those moments.
Yeah, it's good.
And so it's so cool, and I want to encourage y'all in that I think like there is a purity there that is rare, especially in like entrepreneurial environments today, and unfortunately Christian entrepreneurial environments too. And it's so cool. So then from there, where did the name Common Rags come from? Like what even happened with that?
We actually get that question a lot, and it's kind of hard to answer because it was like one of those things that you just say something and that's what it is, And so like, I think it was so like, that's what, going back to it, just like, it was all so perfect. So like God, we thought we were doing something like that start something, but there was a purpose behind all of it. Now we are seeing it. And so then I think we were having coffee before work. We were going to work, and we were having coffee. We were talking about starting something, and we were really determined. That's for sure. We didn't know what it looked like, what it was. We knew it had to do with vintage clothing, and online Instagram driven shop, and that's all we knew. And so we sat down. We were just looking through stuff, and I go into work. I think it was on a Sunday evening. We were going into work. Who works Sundays? I don't know. But we were going into work, and I was working, and I'm on my phone, just like, I don't know what I was doing. And then I created a Instagram account to play around with like usernames. And so I don't know why I had this like word in my mind, and it was like common. Like it was just, that's all I knew. So I was like literally trying like common, what would be a good name for us for what we're doing. And then just rags kind of hit. And I was like, wait, vintage clothing is old clothing. Anything vintage is like 20 years or older. So they're like shirts that a lot of people can see right now as like, ew, that has like some paint on it, has some wear, has some holes on it. And they're like, just like not very appreciated by a lot of people. So they're considered old pieces of clothing or old pieces of a piece of cloth, and so rags. And I was like, wait, like, it kind of makes sense, it kind of fits. Like, we're going to be selling vintage clothing. That's our DNA. Common rags, it's going to become common. And it was just like making sense in my head. It was all like connecting. And then I go onto like the Instagram account and I put Common Rags, and it was like available. And I was like freaking out because I don't like anything that has like, or at least for a brand, I wouldn't like anything that has like an underscore or like a period, or I don't know, just like,
I hear you on that.
I think of like Supreme New York, or like, I look up to those brands, Kith, like it's just that. And so for me, I was like, dude, this is so sick. Like, I don't even know what it's going to be like. I don't know what but I'm keeping this user. And then that same night we went back home, and this is like not knowing what we're going to do. and we bought the domain online. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, we have the Instagram, we have the domain. Now, like, what do we do? Kind of deal. But it was just like all within that same day. Like, it was very like precise, you know, God leading us to do this, us actually putting our like, okay, we're gonna put our mind into this, like we're gonna go all in. And that same day, like we had the name, the Instagram, and the domain, like all in like one evening, one night, which is crazy.
I mean, that's really crazy to think about, because I know trying to come up with a name for a brand, you know, even coming up with a name for like an Instagram or social media account can be challenging, you know. But if it's something that sticks, you know, it just sticks and everybody, you know, resonates.
Yeah, and I wasn't really like, I don't think we were feeling it very much. Like, I was like, well, I think we even tried to like come up, you know, continue, but it kind of grew on us. Like, man, this is it. Like, this is really it. And even like the logo as well, like, was super. We were trying to find the logo, which was the other thing, and we got the logo, and it didn't. I was like, I'm not a big fan of it, and it just like it resonates. Like everything like is like the name, the logo. It just sticks out, resonates, and feels right. Feels in place.
Yeah, and there's like depth to it. There's symbolic depth to it, because it was the same thing with perspectives, to where there's a essentially like a class that's offered by another charity called Frontiers USA, that class is called Perspectives, and they own the domain perspectives.org. And so whenever we were creating the charity, the Lord gave me the name like Perspectives Worldwide, and I was kind of like, God, like, I don't know about this, man. Like, they could confuse us with this or this, but like, he just affirmed it over and over again. And there's so many layers of depth to it that applies to kind of the mission for us of wanting to change, you know, individual by individual perspective. And then from there, that changes, you know, on average, the culture and the worldview and everything like that, more towards like a biblical worldview, honoring the Father and everything like that. So I think it's so cool to see that y'all did the same thing with that and going along with that.